Welcome to the Super Facts Show on the Super Facts Network. Featuring St. Laz, who also hosts the popular web series Gem Pop and music journalist Mark Walter Ward. They have discussions about hip-hop, culture, society, philosophy, and everything else. Now available on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcasts. What up, world? It's your boy Mark Walter Ward, Super Facts Show, Super Facts Network. We got the artist formerly known as Taj Mahal, one part of the Senate, which at one point was part of the whole Dipset movement. This is going to be a Throwback Thursday quick bite. We're going to talk particularly about the Dipset Taliban Senate Volume 2. If you see this post on Dirty Glove Bastard, I'll have the mixtape there for you. If you hear the audio podcast, the links will be in the description. And if it's on YouTube, you're just going to have to Google that shit because I don't know how to put links in YouTube descriptions. So the first thing about that one is at this point, all right, at least like 5 different people from Un Kasa to Juelz to Jim Jones confirmed the Senate part of Dipset, which at that time is a huge thing. I mean, that must have automatically drove your ticket up. Yeah. I'm curious though. Later on, it just seemed like the Taliban was like a little logo that'd be on the Dipset mixtapes, but there's no Purple City on this. It's like Purple City took the place of the Taliban. Was the Taliban ever like a group of musicians?
So the Taliban was my cousin Luca Brazi, which is now Mr. Gumbo.
He had the Gladiator mixtape. I've never been able to find I've never even been able to find a download of that. I want to hear that so bad.
That was an ill mixtape. Thump Mendoza was on there from the Senate. I don't think I was even on a Gladiator mixtape. I didn't make the cut on that one. Cam and Brazi was real particular, especially like Luca always been real particular. Shout out to Luca Brazi. But so to answer your question, Luca was the one who had all of us, right? Like Luca introduced JR, Hellrell, me. He put me and Juelz together for the first time. I think Luca and T Money. So, but to answer your question, the Taliban, it never really was a group per se. It was just Luca Brazi, and he was the king of the hill. You understand what I'm saying? So everybody that came to the Dipset, that Killer didn't get and point and say, let me have them. Luca brought them to the table. So he was like the liaison to, if you want to meet Cam and you want to be a part of the diplomats, Luca Brazi was the person to come through to make that happen.
Is that how the Senate got introduced to the diplomats?
So the Senate, I started the Senate in Syracuse long before it was a Taliban. I was already doing the mixtapes called the Senate. A lot of people feel like that the Senate was a spinoff of the Diplomats or Purple City, but I was already up top. I had already moved to Upstate New York and was doing what I was doing and met Thump Mendoza, Sammy G. I met Louis Vuitton. So the Senate was already moving. It was already booming. That's why when I got with my cousin and I started going back to the city more, and I got with Luca and I saw what he was doing, I said, oh, I'm about to put everybody on there. Like, to be honest with you, Hellrell wasn't even on no mixtapes. I was putting him on Senate mixtapes before he was on Diplomat mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? Like keeping his name alive and all that while he was in jail. He'll tell you the same thing. Even with like Hellrell, even with SAS, I never even knew that I really put the SAS, Mega and Mayhem. They told me that you know, that's how I kind of blew them up in the UK because they was on the Senate mixtapes before they really was on Diplomat mixtapes. So, you know, that was just me, you know, using my little bit of marketing genius and saying, I'm about to put everybody on these mixtapes. And then I was hesitant to put the Diplomats on there because I know that Cam was a little bit more, Cam business savvy was better than everybody's. So I knew that if I put that bird on there, I had to clear it with Killer. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, like I think I might have asked Cam one time if I could, you know, put some records on there, and he was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And then me and Jim had a good relationship at the time, and he was like, "Man, go ahead." Like, you know what I'm saying? I know you moving around. I was going from here to Chicago to Cincinnati to Connecticut to fuck with Big Mike. So I would go get 10,000 mixtapes, put them bitches in the trunk and spread them around. Even like the scissor, like I was the first one to even put I had 5-page pullouts in my mixtapes. So they shit was like album pullouts, you know what I'm saying? So I had put the scissor ad in there and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. I'd like to see that. So,
Yeah.
but you know, we're gonna jump around about this a little bit, but this kind of led into, like, I was gonna ask you how you got the exclusives, and I know you probably don't remember the track list, but so on the Senate, the Triple Threat 2, off what you just said about Hell Rel and Killer, your Cameron exclusive was the Harlem Joint that ended up being on the K Slay album a few years later, which was labeled as an exclusive then, but I could tell that this is slightly different. I don't know about if it's lyrically or if it's how it's mixed or something, but there's a little something different about it. But I mean, that would be a testimony to where the relationship was at, you know what I mean? And then the Hell Rel exclusive, which, you know, it says freestyle exclusive, but I don't know if you call that a freestyle, and not even on the level of, like, you know how like cats, you know, sometimes freestyles is written as far as like, man, if that's a freestyle that's just his, I'm gonna write down some bars and spit over a beat to be nice, man, that's some outstanding songwriting for a young artist.
Right.
Hell Rel, he's on there like I believe 2 or 3 times, and he's really stand out. Since we're gonna talk about the music for a minute, well, before we get into anything, who was the Senate composed of at this point?
So the Senate was me, Louis Vuitton, which Louis rap, and then he went and did 20 years. He on his way home in the next year or two. His brother Thump Mendoza, Sammy G, Knight, and the Tomb Raiders. That was the Senate. And Heck, my little brother Heck. That was the Senate. But you know, Heck came later. Knight came a little later. So the original Senate was Louis Vuitton, Sammy G, Thump Mendoza, Taj Mahal.
All right, so if I say somebody nice, anyone else hearing this, it's just I don't know you enough, or I'm not saying you're not nice, but Thump Mendoza and Sammy G particularly on this project. Thump Mendoza, since I guess he came home or whatever, but he's put out music in the last 2 years or pre-pandemic, whatever. Them shits went hard as hell. You had a song with him in the last, yeah, like Thumb Mendoza's nice, but on this Triple Threat, Sammy G go extra hard. And then I was gonna ask you, say you mentioned Knight, so tell me about Knight. What, unless it's like something too personal or anything, what I was gonna say is what's he doing these days? Like, what did he end up doing with life?
So Knight, I think he got a some internet show. He got him and his wife got an internet, like a podcast is going, is doing well. I'm actually getting ready to interview Knight for the Bars documentary that I'm doing, Buffalo, Albany, Rochester, Syracuse, because he definitely was.
That's funny you say that. This project I just showed you, do you remember that?
Yeah, that was one that kind of, so Mike Pratt from Buffalo put that project out. That wasn't really a Senate project, but it was a Senate project because he was with the Senate. But that's one that they kind of branched out and put out on their own, which was the ill body. Like Knight is a motherfucker on that mic. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was the ill body of work. But Knight and Mike Pratt kind of put that together, Worldwide Legacy.
Well, the thing that I was going to bring up when you said that he had the show is totally believable, because on that a lot of personality comes through, as opposed to sometimes with y'all. And I have no idea, he might be the most gangster person in the world or whatever. But from what I've heard, you know, all of his content isn't that, but it seems to lean more towards that way when he gets with y'all. You know, right. like on the Formula, he was more of a subject matter wise, a diverse artist. Yeah. So back to a Triple Threat, you know, like Un Kasa's everywhere. You're everywhere. Well, before we get to this, because the next one I'm sure most people will find to be a controversial statement. Why was Un Kasa so close to the Senate? I mean, like, for instance, this is Taj and Un Kasa Part 2. I believe there was at least 2 of these, if not 3.
Yeah. Un Kasa was with me before we was really rapping. So Unkasa and Juelz, we got street ties. You understand what I'm saying? So he had to be with me at all times. There was no way that he could be as nice as he was, and I wouldn't include him in anything that I do, even to this day, no matter what we ever went through. You understand?
But you were big bro. But I bet you people from the outside looking in look at you as like somebody that was trying to release a bunch of albums with Unkasa to attach yourself to his name.
Right. I'm sure it looked like that to a few people. That's a fair assessment. And I'm older than him, so I am big bro naturally.
But I mean, logistically too, because I mean, without getting into details, you live in upstate New York, correct?
Right. Right.
And there was a time that it was much more comfortable for Juelz and Unkasa to be living in upstate New York with you than it would be for them to be living back in Harlem for whatever reason.
Right. That's a fact.
Right. Yeah. So that automatically makes you big bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I try to be as humble as I can about the situation when it comes to them, because it was good, then it was bad, then it got good, then we got bad, then everything got back together. So right now, I really don't want to, like, you know what I'm saying, pull too many, scabs back. But yeah,
I mean, we don't need to talk about like the shit we used to talk about is like that I just said. That's all good. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I'm not saying like you let them live or no shit like that, but but you gave them a place, and clearly, at least Unkasa, because I don't know how much Juelz developed as an artist there, but Unkasa undoubtedly developed as an artist while he was around you. Like, there's no, I'm sure if he was honest about it, he would have to admit that.
Unkasa told me throughout his own mouth, and Shice Bub used to always say, "You make your best songs when you with Taj. When you upstate, when you in the studio with Taj, you make your best records upstate." And he told me that, and he told me that Shice told him that. So, I mean, because listen, son, we would work all day long. Like for real, bro. Like we were going to the studio at 10 in the morning, and when I come out my studio, it would be 7, 8 in the morning again. We'd go across the street, we'd get something to eat, we'd come back, and we'd do it all over again. Me, Sammy, that was what we did every single day. That's why, you know, every day, homie, like every day.
So without disrespecting none of the other members of the Senate, because, you know, again, you know, we don't try to get into too many details, but I mean, you said it yourself, free Louis V. The Senate wasn't just you know, seeing shit on movies and writing it down on paper. They was talking about what they knew. Right. What was the fact that y'all were in the studio all the time and maybe others were off handling other things a reason that Sammy G and you sound just a little bit more advanced lyrically?
So Sammy G got his lyrical advancement. He got it honest. He had Thump around him. That's his blood brother. He had Louis around him. He had no choice but to be an animal. Like, he's still an animal right now. As far as us being in the studio while they was doing like Louis went to jail so fast into, he never really got to see this shit flourish in the street. Like, we flourished and we did our numbers while Louis was locked up. So, you know, me and Louis, we was together a lot, and, you know, we was getting into what we was getting into, but he went to jail so fast that it wasn't like he would have rather have been in the studio with us. If he was out when we was making the records, he would have definitely been in the studio. Now, Doza, on the other hand, he stayed locked. He was always in and out of jail, So yeah, he was more intrigued with what was going on outside of the studio than versus what was going on inside the studio. But when you get him in that motherfucking studio, you know you're getting a classic.
Definitely. All right.
Guaranteed.
So then, like, you know, obviously I already know the answer to this, but you know, there's gonna be some people who are gonna be intrigued by this, who are gonna listen to the project for the first time, and they're gonna love 45th and Broadway. I don't know. Do you remember what you said at the end of it?
At the end of my verse?
Nah, at the end of the song you were talking.
Nah, what did I say?
You said Jim Jones gave me the word that we're gonna have a video for this.
Yes.
So did the video ever come about?
No, he went back on his word. And you know what's so crazy is I was just watching the making of 45th and Broadway on camera, and I was sitting there talking. It was me, Cam, and Juelz and Jim in the room, and Cam had just bought Cam had just bought Jimmy a Panasonic, the DVX, and brought it to the studio that day. And Jim was like, "Yo, we gonna shoot the video on this joint right here." And, you know what I'm saying? We never shot the video for whatever reason. That was a smash. That was a banger. You know what I'm saying? And
Hell yeah.
I really felt like that, it might have been some slight in there, or the fact that I wasn't signed, technically wasn't a diplomat. I wasn't signed to the Dipset. And, why would we put him in the forefront when we got no paperwork on him? Now, in retrospect, I understand that. But at the time, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? At the time, all I know is that my word is my bond and my bond is my life. And I should give my life before my word shall ever fail. So if you say you was going to do something, you had to do it. You understand what I'm saying? So at that time, I didn't understand it. And I'm like, man, I felt the way about us not doing the video. You know what I mean?
But now all that's water under the bridge.
All that's water under the bridge. Now look at 20 years later, Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty did 45th and Broadway all over again. And Gucci Mane used my whole verse.
Yeah.
The whole verse, word for word. So, you know what I'm saying? That's the testament. While I watch Gucci post that's the testament that it's like, oh nah, that shit was fire.
Well,
and I watch a lot of people on the Gucci post say, yo, that was my favorite Diplomat song. That was Taj Mahal and Jim Jones song, or that was Juelz and Taj song, and you know what I mean?
Well, here comes a controversial statement, because we're gonna put this in our little Dipset Facebook group and all that other shit, and they probably ain't gonna like this. But I got in straight up ability to rap, and all the people affiliated with Dipset, Skull Gang, Top Gunners, what was JR Riders, Thunderbird, I forgot 40 Cal, any offshoot, UN. I got the best rapper being Cameron. I got the second best rapper being you. I got the third best rapper being Noe from Bird Gang. I got the fourth best rapper being Vado. And I got the fifth best rapper being present day Jim Jones. But if you had to do body of work, I would probably put 40 Cal slightly ahead of him. I would say Hell Rel is the only non-original member to release a retail classic. I think the first Hell Rel album is a legitimate classic, which it doesn't get credit for. And I bet most Dipset fans will find those statements to be controversial. I'm gonna need you to send me that link to that video that got you freestyling in a car.
Me, Harrell, and Drew, and JR.
Yeah, because like that right there will really show it if anybody want to question that. So what do you think when you hear that statement?
I think that's a fair assessment. It's a couple people in there that I'm really not too familiar with their music like that. Of course, I know their names, but like Noe and 40, I never really listened to their joints like that. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that they ain't nice, but I just never really, dug into their shit. But I feel like that's a fair assessment. I don't feel like none of them is better than me as in artistry, to be honest with you.
Even Cam?
Huh?
Even Cam?
Absolutely not.
Got you. When's the first time you remember hearing somebody say no homo?
Killer. Well, the first time I ever heard,
not who did it, just who did, like the situation.
My personal first time hearing somebody say no homo was Cam. He was in the booth writing a record for a girl, and we was at Baseline in Jay-Z's studio, and he spit the bars. I forgot who he was writing a record for. He spit the bars, and then when he got done, he said no homo. And then I heard everybody on 45th, like that's what we would say it was always no homo, no homo, no homo, no homo. It was no homo, or it was really good. And Luca Brazi really started the was really good, and he don't get the credit for that. But it was so much game being ran, and so much what we used to call Pepsi twist. Like, nigga, you got too much twist. I don't know what to believe. So a nigga would say, yo, what's good? Like, nah, bro, like, what's good? And then it would have to be like, okay, I believe you, but what's really good? Like, is you serious, son? Like, nigga got 5 birds upstairs in the pool hall? You sure? Like, what's really good? Don't have me run up there and take these bricks if it ain't really there. That's how what's really, really, really good started.
Man, this was supposed to be a quick jump, but then I gotta ask, like, knowing you and knowing your character, I mean, like, bro, you put a video out on the internet where you held up a big bag of money and asked known rappers to do a feature for you. You was tired of dealing with middlemen. and like did that shit and cop features and shit, cop
Yeah.
videos, copped all that shit.
On
And
the
then,
come up DVD.
yeah, and then like other than sending me them old Dipset shits, you've been impeccable with your word and everything I've ever observed. So what was it like for you being around like a situation like that where like what people say is continuously suspect?
It made me not want to be around them. It made me not want to be around them. And it really, like, when I really saw how people was living in the rap world, like, it made me just not even want to be a rapper. That's what made me say, I'm not going on tour with y'all, because I had opportunities to go a lot of different places. You know what I'm saying? Dame Dash once told me in Baseline, like, yo, it's about being around. You understand what I'm saying? You got to be around. Now, it made me say, I'm not sleeping on nobody's tour bus, and I could go up top and get to this bread. Like, I'm out of here, bro. I might go to a couple shows, but I ain't sticking around, because I'm not gonna laugh when you laugh. You can't send me to the store. I probably got more money than you. I got, you know what I mean? I got the same cars y'all got, the same jewelry you niggas got, like, and them as artists, they don't even want nobody around they can't send to the store either. You know what I'm saying? If you're not a send off, they don't really want you around. They want you to have to eat when they eat. And if Cam per se, maybe not Cam, but if a nigga eat at 9 o'clock and I'm hungry at 6, I'm grown. I'm not waiting to eat till you eat. Like, that ain't gonna work for me.
Word.
Like, at all.
Word. All right, we're gonna finish this up with 2 questions real quick.
All right.
I know you might not remember exactly, especially the specific volume, but if you do, that'd be great. But on the Triple Threat Volume 2, do you remember how many you pressed up and how many you sold? And if you don't remember that, can you just give me a average of I think the Senate has a strong 15 releases, if not more. So what kind of numbers was y'all doing?
So when it came to Triple Threat, by that time, everything after Senate Volume 5, because Triple Threat 1 came after Senate Volume 5. Everything after Triple Threat Senate Volume 5, we pressed at least 5,000 copies. We would go uptown, Miss Sonia, at MOS. It was called MOS, Media One Stop. We would go to Miss Sonia. We would get at least 5,000 joints, and I would go on the road. We would go to Ohio. That's where I met the middleman. That's where I met my man Mac. That's still around to this day. I met Mac and Wire. We was on mixtape tour. Me and Scooby-Doo and Bezel and we would go on mixtape tours. We would go to Jersey. We would go to Connecticut. But to answer your question, we never pressed no less than 5,000 CDs ever. After Senate Volume 4, it was popping. You nigga had to have 5,000, because you might go to, remember, they would come in two, it would be 100 CDs in one row, 100 CDs in another row. So I would have to leave a 200 box at damn near every store we went to.
Right, and then there's like going down events and shit where you gotta have tons of them motherfuckers. And like this before South by Southwest. This is when you was hitting like Black Bike Week up and shit like that.
All of that. Yeah.
Word.
This is when Vlad and fucking No Jumper Adam and them was kids, and they was coming on Canal Street.
Damn.
Doing a CD run.
I know about Vlad. I ain't know about No Jumper Adam. I ain't really too hip to him in general, but he be pushing my man Just Rich Gates. So shout out to him. And the last thing I want to ask you, because we can still keep this a quick bite. We around 15 minutes. Is did you watch the Dipset Locks versus?
Absolutely.
And what's your opinions and what do you think Dipset should have done different?
So mind you, I talked to Hell Rel 2 nights ago for 2 hours. Crazy conversation. You know what I told Hell Rel?
What's that?
You don't know how to seize the moment, bro. That was you supposed to bum rush that stage when your brothers was getting beat down like that, when they was getting assaulted, verbally assaulted, damn near physically assaulted. You know, son told you heard Styles tell Cam shut the fuck up.
I mean, I thought the bandana on the ground was worse.
So took Juelz bandana and spiked it.
Because I mean, you know, that's just, I thought that was unacceptable.
I don't give a fuck if we cool and we playing or not. We not gonna do that on camera. Beside the point, I told Rel, like, boy, this was your time. Like that, you supposed to turn that into wrestling. You supposed to jump on stage like a tag team.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm here, my nigga.
Is that
Wouldn't
Hell
that
Rel's
have
music
been
we hear? Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been crazy if they would have tagged like, yo, I'm here, my boy. I'm coming to help. That would have been ill. And it ain't like Cam would have. I don't get Killer being a hater to where he wouldn't have said, the DJ wouldn't have threw on, this is what I do. You feel me? But yeah, it was bad to watch, homie. And it just showed you arrogance versus MCing.
Versus preparation, yeah. Hey, you know what would have been dope about Hell Rel? Imagine if they had a payphone, right? And like somebody answered the payphone and it started off with one of them jail freestyles and you could hear it coming through the speakers. And then and as it comes, it segues into the second jail freestyle, but he come out with a mic.
Yo, I said, you know how I would have started off the verse if I was Killer? I would have paid Lil Durk and he would have came out with the lights off and he would have said, I remember claiming Dipset.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
I would have started that bitch off like that and let the crowd go wild. And then I would have emerged from the smoke, Cameron. I wouldn't have came out late on my arrogance. And you feel me? This is real. This is the fucking lots we talking about. We talking about Styles, Luch, and Kiss.
Yeah.
We talking about Kiss that ain't never really got his ass whooped on no records. This is what we talking about. This is not for play. This is not boobity booting, computers puting. This ain't that.
Word.
And Cam is listen, I'm gonna keep it like Cam is one of my favorite, like I love Cam music, bro. I know, boy, I know he can get busy. I heard him get dumb, stupid busy too many times. It just was break some more bread with some of the get Freaky Zeke off of there because what is he doing? He ain't even no rapper. Give JR a little check, give 40 a little check, give Rel a little check. And now it's even the playing field. Because you can't do it with just Jim and Juelz. That ain't gonna work against the Lots.
Especially with the wrong song selection. Hey, last thing, is that Senate documentary still up on YouTube?
No, I never put it out.
Okay, that was a private link.
I was doing some private links, but now that see, for me, patience is everything. So now I got a situation, a network situation. So now I'm gonna put it back up. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna actually put it and give it to the world. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shit. That's a Throwback Thursday about Dipset, Senate, Taliban, Triple Threat 2, Taj Mahal. Thank you for your time, brother.
Appreciate you, fam.
No doubt. Super Facts Show, Super Facts Network.